Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I welcome you all to the lecture for the course of Data and Computer Communication. My name is Engineer Jafar Ali and I am your instructor for this course. So let's start with the recapitulation. In the last class we have discussed about the last two classes we have discussed about the motivation behind digital data to digital signal conversion, and for that we use different kind of line coding techniques. And in the last class we have started our discussion regarding the data link layer, that how this is divided into LLC and MAC. The first one is LLC, that is logical link control, and the second one is MAC, that is medium access control. And we saw about the LLC discussion, that how what kind of links are there which are available to connect two systems or more than two systems. And what is MAC? MAC is basically a protocol that is used while you are using a shared bandwidth or shared channel or shared medium. If the medium is shared, for that scenario you will have to look into the MAC address protocol. So the first protocol that we discussed was random access protocol, and in that random access protocol we discussed about the specific protocol known as Aloha, that how this is achieved. And you know that the efficiency of Aloha was very much less, you can say 18.4%, and for that we moved our discussion towards slotted Aloha, from pure Aloha with an efficiency of 18.4 towards slotted Aloha with the efficiency of approximately double, that is 35, or you can say specifically 36 percent efficiency was there for the slotted Aloha. So in keeping that in continuation, we will discuss our topics of today's class. Will be the first one will be CSMA, that is carrier sense multiple access. The second one is CSMA with CD, that is carrier sense multiple access with collision detection. And in the last, CSMA with CA, that is collision avoidance. And in the later part of this class, or in this next lecture inshallah, we will discuss about the channelization protocols, that is TDMA, FDMA and CDMA. And in the last we will discuss different categories and different scenarios and different circumstances under which how can we select a specific MAC protocol. So what is CSMA, or you can say carrier sense multiple access? If you can see, if a user wish to transmit, it first listens to the medium, or you can say the channel, to see if another transmission is in the process or not. So what does it do? A user, before actually transmitting the data on the medium, will first actually listen to that medium or the channel, so that it can observe that if the channel is carrying some data or not. If the channel is in use, it will wait. Obviously, if it does not, any user does not want its data to be collided, so that is why the user will automatically wait. If it listens that the data is already there in the channel, someone else is trying to send their data on the channel, the specific user will stop, or you can say will wait before transmitting the data. If the channel is idle, or you can say the medium is idle, it may transmit. If it observes that there is no data on the medium, it will transmit it data. So these are the three options. The first one is first persistence, the second one is non-persistence, and the last one is pre-persistent. If let's talk about the first persistence. If a user that is keep listening to see if the channel is free or not, as soon as the channel becomes idle, it will transmit. So the delay will be obviously less, but there is a high chance of collision again, because as soon as the channel gets free, it is possible that two or more users will be there waiting. So if suddenly they start transmitting, obviously there will be a collision again. So this is the first persistence, where the user does not want to wait, and as soon as he finds the channel idle, it will start transmitting. So in that scenario, the chance or the probability of the collision will be high, but it will result in the low delay. Similarly, the second one is different from this thing. The second one is non-persistent. When the channel is busy, the user will wait for a random time, because this is a process, a greedy process. No one wants to wait. Everyone wants to send it data. But if you put some random period of time before trying to listen again, this will very much make sure that there is no collision. Because if you will wait, let's say there are two users, user A and user B, both want to send the data, but user C is already using the channel. Now as soon as they both listen to the channel, they will see that user A and user B will see that user C is basically using the channel for the transmission. So let's say user A will take 1 seconds to check again, and user B will, let's say 10 minutes to check again. So it will be very much a high delay. The result will be very high delay. So this is a kind of scenario where they wait for a random time before again checking to the channel. This has a higher efficiency as compared to the this has the actually highest efficiency as compared to the other technique, but you can see that the delay is very much high, because there is a randomization process involved, and you don't have any control over the random period that you have to wait. The last one is basically a combination of both of these, this one and non-persistence. It is basically the pre-persistence, where this P is the probability that it wants to transmit or not until the next slot, with the probability that is 1 minus P. So it is some way in the between. So from this pre-persistence, you can actually manage or you can say trade-off between both of these, delay and efficiency. You can balance your as per your requirement. So these are the three options that you can use for CSMA. This is the diagram for the three modes. You can see that this is for one persistence. As soon as the channel is idle, it will transmit. In this kind of this non-persistence, if the channel is busy, it will wait randomly. It is possible, let's say this user A and B, user A waits 1 minute and user B waits 10 minutes. So obviously one will be this user A will be sending its data very much is at the start, and this user B will have to wait. So for user B there will be high delay, but there will be no collision. You have minimized the chance or the probability of the collision, but the delay is very much high. This is the pre-persistent model, in which there is a wait a slot. You have to wait a specific slot. If this is if the channel is busy, you can see this is two-dimensional. This is used for back-off process, and this is used for the channelization checking a scheme, and here this thing will be transmitting. So this is the combination. Obviously there is a cost that we are paying, that is in form of complexity. The complexity has become high, but you have actually managed both the delay as well as the efficiency. There will be lowest chance of the collision, and the delay will be obviously low, but the cost we have paid in this is basically the complication of the system. Now let's talk about both of these, the CSMA and Aloha. You can see a diagram which is showing the performance comparison. So for CSMA, if the P's value is small, this method performs very well, and it turns out the throughput is very at high load, almost 100%. So there will be 100% output. There will be a very much good efficiency for CSMA with a small P. If the value of the probability is very small, this CSMA will work very much efficiently. However, with very smaller P, users will have to wait longer, so the delay will be very much large. Let's say the value of P is 0.01 at low load. A user will wait, average wait of this user, average time of the user will be 99 time slots before actually transmitting the data. So user will have to wait 99 time slots. So you see that the delays become very much larger. The second type of method of this this randomization technique for Mac is basically CSMA CD. It has a better performance and it can be achieved if the user continues to listen medium while transmitting and stop the transmission immediately if it hears about the collision or if it detects some collision. So the user will be transmitting, and as soon as he hears about the collision, it will suddenly or immediately stop the transmission. The transmission will be stopped immediately because it has detected some kind of collision. So there are two things that a user wants. A user wishes to transmit has to listen to this to see if the channel is free or not at the very first. If the channel is idle, it will transmit, and if the channel is busy, it will keep listening until the channel is free and then sends immediately. This is the same thing as the one processor model. The thing that differs with this CSMA with this one process model is basically this: during this transmission, if it keeps listening to detect the collision, if it hears about the collision or the collision is detected, it will suddenly immediately stop the transmitting of its data and will wait up to a certain time slot. You can see that we have again indulged a randomization period of time wait for the users to wait, and it will go again to the step number 1. So this thing will be carry on. This will be a closed loop and it will be keep carrying on. Let's talk about the propagation delay. What is propagation delay? Propagation delay is basically the delay that is basically used to calculate the time that this data will be reached at its destination. The time that this data will take to reach to this point from this point will be the propagation delay, and it can be used calculated using distance divided by the time. So basically the speed of the data divided by the message of the data divided by the same formula that we discussed, message divided by the data rate, you can find the propagation time. In this kind of CSMA CD working, there is no acknowledgement used, and this data acknowledgement will capture or using medium for most of the time. So that is why it will enhance the chance of the collision. So that is why we have neglected, or the designers have neglected the acknowledgement technique in it, because this acknowledgement may cause the collisions for the actual data. So that is why it is neglected over here in CSMA CD. Let's say this is the collision point. At this point collision has occurred. Let's say the data from A was traveling to this side, and at 12 actually, and at 12:30 the collision has occurred after 30 minutes. So the collided data will reach both the nodes. Let's say this C has this was the C who actually caused this collision at this point, because C started transmitting, and the data of C reached here, and it was targeting, let's say, B. This was the destination for the C, the data for the user C, and the collision has occurred at this point. So the data from A has already covered 30 minutes, so it will also take 30 minutes to this collision information to reach back to this A, and at 1 p.m. this user A will be stopped sending its data because it has received the collision. It does not know about the information about the reason of the collision, but it obviously know that there is a collision, so it will immediately stop the transmission of the data. So basically the wait of this user has 1 hour. The time taken for this is 1 hour, and also the data is not received to particular or specific destination, so you have wasted 1 hour actually. The worst case scenario, if the transmission time the worst case scenario is that this point, the collision point is, let's say, this point. Before reaching point D, just before point D, there comes a collision. So you see that, let's say it was 1 hour traveling from this point to this point, and after 50 minutes, let's say after 50 minutes, or you can say after 59, at 59, just 1 minute before, D starts transmission data. So this time taken was the given approximately 59 minutes, and it will also take again 59 minutes to this collision information to reach back to this A. So it will obviously take approximately 2 hours. So the collided signal will reach at A at 2 p.m. So the best thing to avoid this is basically to set a transmission time greater than twice of the propagation delay. And if it will take approximately double the time, so if this start transmitting just before 1 minute, it has to receive the data. This is the flow chart of all the discussion that we have done till now. You can see that a station has to send a frame. It set a value of k. The k is the number of chances or number of occurrences, or number of attempts. If one of the method is follows, let's say 1 persistence, or you can say p persistence, or 0 non persistence, or 0 persistence, it will be here. If it is eligible for transmission, this will be sent over here. If the transmission is done, or collision detection, if its transmission is done, so it will be go from here. And if it is collided, sorry, it will be coming from here. And if it is there is no collision, it will transmit and receive, and this thing will carry on. This is a closed loop. And if the collision is detected, it will be send a jamming signal, and this jamming signal will increase the value of k, the same thing, and this whole thing will be repeated again. So this is the flow chart of the CSMA CD. The information about the important equations is shown in this slide. You can see that this transmission should be equal to twice of more than twice of the propagation delay. And this transmission time, you can find out the length of the message divided by the total bandwidth available for the message. So if you put the value of this t here, you can find this equation. The length of the message should be equal to at least twice of the propagation delay multiplied with the bandwidth. And the efficiency of this CSMA can be found out from this formula, 1 divided by 1 plus 6.44a, where is nothing but the ratio between the propagation time and the transmission time. So these are some important equations that you need to learn before coming to the next class, because we will be discussing some of numericals in the paper as well, inshallah. So these are some important questions and equations that you have to remember. The next thing, or you can say the last topic of today's class, is basically CSMA CA. And in CSMA CA, this is different from CSMA CD, and it takes effect before collision. You know that CSMA CD takes effects after the collision, but CSMA CA take action before the collision, and it uses this IFS model, that is interframe space, and to find out the priority defined for a user or a station or a specific frame. This IFS means low FIS means high priority, and CW is basically the contention window, and it is a amount of time divided into the slots. And the last thing, the CSMA CA specifically is basically acknowledgement, and acknowledgement could be positive or negative. Also, it uses the RTS and CTS architecture. This RTS is basically request to send, and the CTS is basically clear to send. So if a user wants to transmit any data, it will first send RTS. If the receiver sends back acknowledgement with the CTS, means the user wants to receive the data, it will send the CTS packet, that is, you are clear to send, now you can send. And these types of techniques are mostly used in the wireless networks because of the shared medium. You know that shared medium has a lot of troubles in terms of collision of data, thus resulting in the low reliability of a network. So to avoid that, this methodology is used. And the CSMA CA working, let me show you the diagram. This is the flow chart for the CSMA CA. You can see that the only difference you can see over here is basically the indulgence of this IFS frame. You have to wait IFS interframe space, and after that, if the signal the channel is idle, it will transmit. If the channel is still idle, it will make a condension window size, and it will be chosen randomly the value of R, and it will be from 0 to 2k minus 1, and again it will be to this R slots, and after that it will send the frame. And after that after the complete transmission of the frame, it will wait for some timeout, and after that it will send the check the reception of the acknowledgement. If the acknowledgement is received, it will save the data or the packet or the frame as a success packet, and if it is not received, it will repeat the process again. This CSMA CA has a maximum number of attempts of 15. Yes, 15. You cannot exceed more than 15 attempts. So if a packet is collided and not received more than 15 times, the mission will be abort, and the whole process for that packet will not be repeated again. So this was today's class. I hope that you have learned about. In this class, we have learned about three random access protocols. The first one was a simple CSMA, and we also checked about the comparison of CSMA with the previously discussed topic of the same technique of MAC protocols, that was Aloha and slotted Aloha. So this is the first technique, CSMA. The second one was CSMA with CD, and you learned that this protocol basically occurred after the collision. After the collision has been occurred, this protocol takes the action. And in the last protocol of today's class discussion, that is CSMA CA, this is basically the technique that is used to make sure that data is not fall into a collision packet. So before actually the data collision, this protocol takes the action, to avoid the collision. So that is why it is named as the collision avoidance protocol, or you can say CSMA CA. So that all for today's class. I hope that you have learned quite a lot. I want you to bring some good questions with yourself in the class. You know that the more you ask, the more you learn. I'll see you in the class. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.